Hello everybody, my name is Fearless, and today we have another Salt Fest. Just gonna go right into it. First, we're gonna be watching the match in its entirety. I'm not gonna be cutting any of the match out, so you have the full context, because people were asking me, why do you cut some of the match out? And I was like, well, it's usually the boring shit. Well, they seem to want to see the full thing, for full context, I guess. So, we're gonna be watching the entire match. And I'm going to explain to you why I did what I did at certain points. And then right after we watch the match, we're going to look at the messages. All right, so without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, the ace is the salty one. As you can see, he has a temp account, not account, name, which means his name's been reported for being inappropriate. And he said a lot of things, so it's hard to remember, but I do believe he called me bad at a certain point, probably 20 times. I wouldn't be talking if I had a temp name. Anyways. Yes. Stuff like this I don't like showing. Like, the beginning of the match where it's just nothing. Don't like showing that because what's the point, you know? Also, he said this first guy, the Michaela, is the first person I chased. He said the Michaela juiced me. The chase starts at the 40-second mark. Keep that in mind. And you know what? I am going to skip ahead. Alright? I am going to skip because you don't need to see the whole chase. Anyways, it started at 40, ended at 128. The chase was 48 seconds. And the ace was saying the guy juiced me. I don't really care what he thinks because the guy didn't juice me. I'm not pressed about it necessarily. I just wanted to correct him because, he wanted to be an asshole to me by being super entitled over the game. So I wanted to be an asshole back and be a little petty. So, yeah, this guy didn't juice me. Well, the way this guy phrased it, he said this guy ate me up. I've never heard anyone say that in my fucking life. But apparently this guy ate me up. Anyways, yes, I pick him up. And literally right after I hook him, the first gen pops. Less than a second after I hook the guy. As you can see, this gen, about 80%. I was going to kick it and chase that guy, but again, that other gen popped. So we have that gen that's done, this gen that's almost 99. So what's the logical solution here? I have one hook. I'm going to camp. I was going to 99 my tier 2, well, 99 my tier 3, and then camp with it. And I knew the person or people, however many people were on this gen, I knew they were still in that house, and I was like, they're going to go for the save. So obviously I'm not going to leave and just let them get the save. Besides, why would I leave when there's not only a guy on the hook that I should camp because I'm behind already, but there's also a 99 gen next to the guy. I think the real reason this ace was mad is because he couldn't finish his generator that was next to the guy. He just wanted a free unhook and a free gen, and I'm not going to let that happen. And as you can see, I'm not even camping. The ace could easily unhook right now. I'm legitimately not even camping. Not even camping whatsoever. I see this guy. I get some stock off him. He's my obsession. The stock will go up 40% faster. Look how fast that is. And as you can see, I gave him plenty of time to unhook this guy, and he just didn't do it. He didn't stop the gen from regressing or get that guy. So yeah, you can't really call me bad. So now I have my tier 399. I'm like, all right, I'm camping. Because why wouldn't you camp in this scenario? You have a gen that's about 50% now, and then your first hook. I down this guy. Don't want to waste a Q stack on accident, because it's very easy to accidentally waste a Q stack. Alright, and I slug him because if I pick him up, the nearest hook, as you can see, is, like, look above the ace's name. You can barely see it, but the hook is there. I would pick him up, walk over there. By the time I do that, this guy's getting unhooked, and he's not going to go second stage. He's literally probably 10 seconds, maybe a little bit more away from being second stage. So obviously, I'm going to camp him, the guy on the ground, and the gen all at once, because why wouldn't I? I shook my head no, because he tried to 4% and he failed. If he got that off, that would have been clutch. See this guy Dramaturgy? As you can see, I'm not camping. The ace could go for that. But look what the ace does instead. I'm tier 3. I have a 32-meter tear radius. He runs into me. Now, I just want to point out, I'm bad at the game. 258 is where we're at right now. Let's see how long it takes for him to DC. Because, yes, spoilers, he does DC. Even though he called me bad. I'm bad, but I don't have to DC every match. Anyways. Missed that. He DC'd. 308. It was 258 when we started. He DC'd after being down for 10 seconds. He DC'd because he couldn't handle being on the ground for 10 seconds, and he called me bad. And he said I played lousy. And, yes, again, I will show you the messages after this match. I mean, to be fair, I don't really need to show you anything else. That's the main part, is just him. But let me just skim through and see if there's anything else I need to show you. All right. Not really anything else I need to show you. The quality is really bad on the screen, by the way. I'm not exactly sure why, but you can probably make out his perks. He has Windows, Dead Hard, Bond, and Adrenaline. He says that he doesn't play to win, by the way. I want to point that out. He said he doesn't play to win. And don't worry, I'll make fun of him for that later, and you guys can see it's going to be pretty funny. But if you don't play to win, why would you have Adrenaline? A perk literally made for you to win during the end game. And then Dead Hard, a perk to just take a free hit. If you're not playing to win, why would you run that? He says he plays for fun, but none of your perks are, you know, like meant for fun. Windows is to help you loop if you're bad at looping, which, you know, I run it. I'll admit it. I'm not bad at looping. I'm not trying to make excuses. The only reason I really use Windows is because I play solo queue a lot, and I want to see what god palettes my teammates have and haven't dropped. That's why I use it. Dead Hard, again, not a fun perk. That's to prevent tunneling. Not even really tunneling. You have to get unhooked for it to activate, but then it's just active the rest of the match until you use it. So that's just to tank a free hit. Bond is to help you find your teammates. That's not really fun. That's just useful info. And then Adrenaline, that's literally just to make you win during the end game if you're injured. And he's also using a med kit. I would argue if you're trying to have fun, you'd probably bring a flashlight or something to get saves, because getting saves is pretty fun. But yeah, nothing about his build says I'm trying to have fun. I'm not trying to win, because literally all of his perks help you win. If you were trying to have fun, you'd probably put on a saving build, maybe a head-on build, or a hook sabo build, or a disappearing build because of the smoke bombs in the game mode. But no, he didn't do any of that. So he is trying to win. I don't know why he's trying to play it off like he's not trying to win. Like, you could just say that you're trying to win. Like, I don't really care if you are trying. You know, it doesn't matter to me. But, yeah, let's go right into the messages now, guys. It's already been too long. All right, I usually don't have the messages zoomed in this far, but I want to make it a bit easier to read because usually when I render my videos, I do it in 720. I could do it in 1080, but it takes so much longer, and I don't really get a lot of views, so I don't want to put in a whole bunch of effort. You know, I do YouTube as a hobby, so I don't really care if my videos are super high quality, so I usually just render them in 720. So that's why it's a little blurry sometimes. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. All right. Bring your own map and still choose to play lousy. Yes, I did bring my own map. When I play Myers, I like to go to Haddonfield because not just because it's lore accurate, but also because it's a nice open map and it's easy to get stock on, and it's also a really small map. You know, like Dead Dog Saloon, yes, it's small, but there's so many buildings for you to hide behind and go into. Haddonfield only has 4 buildings total now. It's just so easy to get stock from the top of the roof on main. It's overall just easy to get stock. And I don't know why you complain about it. The map is still survivor-sided, less than it used to be, obviously, but it's only killer-sided if you play the 3-gen, which I definitely wasn't doing. I was just at main trying to chase Michaela and, you know, trying to get her go to second stage. I wasn't playing the 3-gen at all. If they just didn't go for the save and went for gens, they could have easily waited for the anti-camp bar to go up and then let her unhook herself, pop the last gen, and then they're good. But they didn't do that. So I said, how did I play lousy when you lost? Wouldn't you argue that losing is lousy? In my opinion, losing is pretty lousy. Winning, though, that's definitely not lousy. I mean, you pretty much camped Hook to get into power, forcing one of our teammates into second like I have Bond. I can see what went down. You played lousy. I really just it's like a nick pick. Is that nick pick? Yeah, that's what the word is. I never use that word. So I don't want to be a nick pick, but I hate it when people don't use punctuation. Like I read that really sloppy because he didn't put periods or commas or anything. It's just I always do it. I know you don't really, like, no one cares if you do it in text, but you know, when I'm doing a video like this where I'm reading it out, it's just a little more. It just makes it a little more difficult. But yes, I camped Hook to get into power. No, I camped Hook to for second stage and to make sure that 99 gen wasn't complete. But getting my power 99 was a bonus. So yeah, that's not why I did it, but it was just a cherry on the cake, you know. And he has Bond. He can see what went down. He could have just waited for my power to be over. And since he has Bond, he'll know when his teammates are going for the save, so he can also go in as well. And he didn't do that. Like, you sucked all the fun out. Congrats. Pat on back. Not pat on the back. Pat on back. I want to make a joke about Patrick being on my back, but I don't know what to say. So, yeah. I didn't suck the fun out of anything. I played to win. That's how the game's supposed to be played. Right. Because being slugged and having you tear up at Hook for you to just get easy downs is fun. I never said that. I literally never said that. I didn't suck the fun out of anything. It really depends on what perks you bring. And, you know, actually, like, he had good perks. He had Bond. He could have easily helped his teammates. He had Windows, so he could have looped me or something. He didn't do anything. So, of course, it's not fun. You're not running any fun perks, even though you claim that you were trying to just have fun. You weren't running anything fun at all. So, yeah. And I never said that slugging was fun. Also, I don't know how he's going to complain about slugging. He was on the ground for 10 seconds, maybe even a little less than that. So you realistically can't complain about being slugged. Maybe don't go down next time. That emoji with that sentence is just hilarious to me. Lol, well, I don't play to win. I play to have fun. And if you play it like that, of course, you will most likely win because that's just too easy. What? So he's playing. He doesn't play to have. He doesn't play to win. He plays to have fun. So it's my fault that I'm not playing to have fun like he is. Well, winning is still fun, right? And I'm winning. I'm still having fun. But what the fuck does this mean? You will most likely win because that's too easy. Camping on Hook, it's actually not easy at all. There's an anti-camp meter. If you guys just didn't swarm the Hook and let me down you, she would have unhooked herself. So it's actually pretty hard to camp. You know? Unfortunately, the game is killer-soded. Yeah, the game is so killer-soded. You know? The killers have teammates that can help them. Oh yeah. They don't. You know? Let me just explain to you why I think the game is survivor-sided. I'm a survivor main. I'm not an entitled killer main. This guy does call me entitled later, which is quite ironic. But, yeah, I'm a survivor main, and I know for a fact this game is survivor-sided. Like, true talent. I saw a video, like, today. He was on Backwater Swamp. He should have gotten it down, but everyone had bounce landing, and they were all body blocking. What's the killer supposed to do in that scenario? You can't do anything. Because, like, sure, you could say, run an exhaustion perk that gives them exhaustion so they can't use balance landing. How the fuck are you supposed to know what they're running, though? You shouldn't have to, like, just assume that everyone's running exhaustion perk because, you know, survivors shouldn't have to do that, you know? But they do anyways. The game is definitely not killer-sided, by the way. Like, take all the survivors' perks and combine them. How many perks is that? How many? But that is 16 perks. I almost said 24. That is 16 perks. That's still a lot. But this killer has 4 perks. Survivors have 16 perks. Killers have 4. Now, granted, if you're in solo queue, you don't know what your teammates are running. I never said you did know. But even if you're in solo queue, your teammates will still body block for you, obviously. Especially during the end game. What are you supposed to do? The game's not killer-sided. I'm sorry. If you guys want an in-depth video, like on everything, every reason why I think the game is survivor-sided, let me know in the comments, and I will gladly make that video. I mean, I'm lacking a little bit when it comes to my upload schedule right now. And, yeah, I mean, compared to, like, C-Day, I'm a god. But, you know, still, I would like to get more. Maybe don't camp for the free win. I wouldn't get to camp if you didn't go down. Now, what he says next baffles my mind. LOL what? So you can't read. Okay. I wouldn't get to camp if you didn't go down. LOL what? Do you understand English? I made it pretty clear. I got down as a result of you camping a teammate who ate you up, by the way. All those respects. LMFAO. So that's really the reason you went down. Hold on. Let's take a look at that. Oh, yeah. You totally went down because I was camping. Not because you ran into me when I literally was right next to you. 32-meter tear radius, by the way. Yeah, he went down because I was camping, guys. My bad. I'm sorry. You got your tier up by stalking the teammate who tried to rescue, and then you chose to down and play shitty. Okay, so instead of downing them, I was supposed to let him unhook. My bad, dude. I'm so sorry. I'm entitled, by the way. I'm sorry for being entitled. You know, it's in my nature. What else am I supposed to do? I have to be entitled. I'm sorry, I can't keep a straight face. Okay, so I'm not supposed to stalk. Got it. I can't use my power. So that's number one. I'm not allowed to stalk. Can't use my power. I'm not allowed to down people that get the save. And I'm not allowed to camp the person on the hook, even though there's a 99 gen and a down person next to them. That's wow. Man, Survivor rulebook is growing every day. Regardless, I still played better than you. I play killer. I know it's skill. I play killer. I know what is skill and what is just to win. That's solid English. You know, I understood it perfectly. Also, no one ate me up. His chase lasted a little over 40 seconds. That's the classic entitled Survivor line. Like, I play killer. I know how it is. You don't play killer. And if you do, your MMR is clearly not high enough. 2 gens were about to pop. I play killer. I know what it's like, you know. You're just further proving my point. And I play Michael, the gag of it all. You guys had 2 gens about to pop. Obviously, I'm going to camp and try my hardest to get the kill. Now, I didn't know 2 gens were about to pop, of course, but it was good for me to camp because I was right. I assumed it, like, if this gen's 99, of course, there's probably another one that's getting worked on, and I was right. And because I was right, I camped, and it paid off. I do, because it's important to know the balance of the game. The fuck is this guy talking about? So you admit you played ass, and that's why you camped. Gotcha. Never said that. Just because I play a certain way doesn't determine my skill level. One day I could play Slugman McGee and slug everyone and just leave them all out for 4 minutes. That doesn't mean I'm ass at the game and I can't hook people, because one day I might hook everyone at 5 gens and win. One day I might get 4-man outed and have no hooks. Just because of one match, you can't judge someone's skill based off of one match that you see. Besides, I didn't go down in DC after 10 seconds. So, you know, I could say that this guy's super ass because of that one match, right? It's the same thing, but then another match he might win. So is he ass then? I don't know. I mean, if you're judging someone based off of one match, I guess he is ass. You did, babes. I can read between the lines. Not for sure, LOL. You disconnected. So I guess that makes you a horrible teammate? See how you can't judge someone based off of one match? I thought you could read between the lines. I DC'd because you played shitty, and I didn't feel like getting slugged. I moved on, but it's okay. You already proved my point. I downed you for 10, maybe even less seconds. So, no, it's not because you didn't want to get slugged. It's because you're dog shit at the game. You knew you were going to lose, so you said, I'm out. Which, fair enough. If you want to DC, go ahead and DC. But don't lie about it and say it's because you're getting slugged for fucking 10 seconds, man. He was on the ground for literally 10 seconds. You literally said a whole lot of nothing. And what point was that? Like the game was over, you dragged it. No, I didn't. I slugged because you were all grouped up. The guy led me to the house that had the ace already in it. The ace ran into me, and I'm like, okay, he gave me the free down. This guy's in the basement of the House of Pain. The only thing stopping me from getting to him is a God pallet. So let me break that shit and catch him. Why would I, like, what would happen if I didn't slug? Let's say I pick up the ace, I go all the way outside to the nearest hook, which is probably across the street. The other guy is going to get the guy off the ground and get the guy off the hook. So instead of having 4 people down or on hooks, I'll have 1 person on a hook. What is your logic, dude? It's not my fault you were horrible survivors. Exactly. You got nothing to say. I just looked at the clip, by the way. You DC'd after being down for 8 seconds. I don't know where I got the 8, but, well, I was only like a second off. This was after you ran directly into me, by the way. Dude, this is all after you played shitty. So why should I stay for a shitty gameplay? Entitled as fuck. Now, I was just dying laughing. I was just laughing my ass off for like 2 minutes straight at this. He's calling me entitled. All right. You can bring Dead Hard and Adrenaline and Windows. I can't bring a map offering. Now, I just want you guys to know. I had what? I had Brutal Strength, Fire Up, Enduring, and Coup. Notice how all 4 of those were not Gen Protection or Gen Regression perks. They were all chase perks. No second chances or anything. And this guy is complaining about 1 map offering when he's bringing 3 strong perks. And 2 of which are not counterable. Dead Hard, you can wait it out. Adrenaline, you can't really counter that unless you kill them all before the gens are done, but it's a survivor-sided game, so that's most likely not going to happen. And Windows, you can't counter that either unless you have blindness perks, which I didn't. And again, how would I know that they're running an aura perk? There's no way for me to know that. It's funny. Entitled as fuck. I sure am entitled for running a map offering. You are entitled. I'm glad you finally understand. You want me to stick out the rest of a shitty match that you made that way all because you didn't know how to play Michael correctly? Okay, so how do you play Michael? Because based off of this guy's logic, you're not allowed to use his power. So, I mean, he's just an M1 killer. And, I mean, if you can't use his power, you're never going to leave tier 1. So I'm going to be, what, 105% speed the entire game? Weird how that works. How do you play Michael correctly, though? I don't think this guy ever told me. Because you're not allowed to use his power, so you're never going to leave tier 1. You're going to be slow as shit. What am I supposed to do to play him better? I'm a Michael main, by the way, so I feel like I would know how to play him, but, I mean, apparently this guy's a fucking expert, so I don't know. Message this guy on PlayStation and ask him for some tips on Michael Myers. I mean, he's clearly a boss. He's clearly the VIP of Michael Myers gameplay. I don't know, man. I mean, you can play him like that, sure. Just know that ain't skill. Yes. Me downing all of you guys in, what, 30 seconds isn't skill. By the way, I don't know why he's talking about not having skill. I am a Michael main. Trust me, I know how to play him. To each their own. See ya. And, you know, I would have just left it there, but I actually messaged this as he did that. You didn't have enough skill to continue a match against me. Just a tip for next time. Don't blame the killer when you and your teammates play like trash. And, you know, I'm done playing Mr. Nice Guy. I get salts and entitlement like this all the time, and I'm just kind of sick and tired of it. If you're not going to learn that it's a game, then, you know, I'm going to act just like you. I'm not going to say slurs or anything, because people have said that to me before. But, you know, I'm going to be a little bit of an asshole. So I'm going to call him trash. I mean, he ran into me and then DC'd after being down for like 8 to 10 seconds. So you are definitely trash. I hope you know that the way you play takes no skill. Camping for Michael power, at least Ghostface you can reveal. This guy did not pass English language arts, I'll tell you that much. And you can wait out Michael's power. So what's your point? Michael was added into the game when the game didn't really know which direction it was heading. So what are you talking about? Michael was added into the game when the game didn't really know which direction it was heading. So they never know which direction they're heading. Oni was added. They didn't know which direction they were heading. Like, Trickster was added. They didn't know which direction they were heading. What are you talking about? Yeah. And let our teammate die on Hook? Mm-hmm. Hook state... Hope. Hook stages are 70 seconds now. Michael's power is 60 seconds. Do I need to explain it further? Like you wouldn't have tunneled. And now you're dodging it. Yes, I probably would have tunneled, but that's no excuse to let your teammate die on first hook. And you didn't know for sure that I would have tunneled anyways. You didn't save because you're not a good survivor. GG, well played. Try not to DC next time. I wouldn't want that penalty going up. And that is thankfully the end of this guy. And you know, I say this at the end of every Salt Fest, but I'm going to say it again. Don't be a baby like this guy and be super entitled. It's cringe as fuck. And no one deserves to be messaged like this, man. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Salt Fest. And I'll see all of you in the fog. Goodbye.